Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. Shalom, and welcome to our Biblical Hebrew podcast. Today I wish to speak to you about the relations between the 7 species of the country and the 7 days of creation. In the 5th book of Moses, in Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 8, we read about the 7 species of the country. I shall read the Hebrew and translate it into English. Eretz chita useora, a land or a country of wheat and barley, vegefen utena, verimon, and vineyard, and fig, and pomegranate, eretz zet shemen udvash, the country of olive oil and honey. When we usually read this verse, we think about the 7 species because we know, in brackets, those terms from our daily life. We go to the field and we see either a pomegranate or vine or barley or wheat. We are familiar, so to speak, with those species. Children already in the kindergarten, or they are being taught or being acknowledged. They are being introduced to those trees, or those trees are introduced to them by their parents or by the people who educate them. But those species which are mentioned here in Deuteronomy 8:8, they refer to something higher, to the 7 days of creation. The wheat is associated with the first day of creation, in which God said, Vayehi or shall be light. Why? When we look at a baby, in the first months of his life, he's just drinking milk, because he doesn't have teeth. But around 1 year, when he have few teeth inside of his mouth, he has the capability to chew bread and to process bread. And around this time, around 1 year, the baby is managing to speak few words. When the sages look at this process, they say that this picture of a baby chewing bread and has the ability to speak reflects the first day of creation. As we said before, the Bible is not a Darwinistic book. It does not describe evolution, material evolution. The Bible speaks about the spirit, about the awareness of human beings. And the sages see in this process of a baby chewing bread with his own teeth, and parallel to it has the ability to speak, as a revelation of the divine speech. When a baby has the capability to speak, to say one word into the world, this is a light. Vayehi or shall be light. The second species is barley. Barley is associated with the 2nd day of creation, in which there was a separation between the up water and the down water. Barley is considered to be the food of the cattle, without now humiliating every human being that also ate something that is made out of barley. I look into the sources, and people are wondering why the barley is considered to be a cattle food. And it's related also to the 2nd day of creation. In the 2nd day of creation, we have a separation between the up water and the down water. There is distinction, but we don't see the complete act. We just see the process. So the barley, in a way, symbolizes a process in its stages. This is why it is associated with the food of cattle. They're also mammals like humans, but the cattle, they have 4 feet on the ground. 4 feet on the ground, and the head is in the same height like in the body, unlike human. Human have 2 feet on the ground. Their arms are stretched wide open to the sky if they want, and their head is looking upwards to the sky where we're coming from. The heavens is, so to speak. So why does barley consider to be a food of cattle? It's not a physical cattle. It's just an image for a person who cannot see the whole process of life. It just see up and down like the water, but no aim. Up and down is again too, like the world of duality. Cattle, they reproduce, they make babies, but they don't speak. So without any personal offense, barley is considered to be a cattle food, the cattle's food. Another thing, genuinely, the harvest of barley in the land of Canaan was happening or is happening in spring. The Bible says, Ki haseora aviv, because the barley is spring. The barley appears in the spring, a few weeks before spring, and the harvest time of the barley is at Passover, basically. But barley is only a part of the process. 7 weeks after we harvest the barley, there are 7 weeks between Passover and celebrating the 10 Commandments in June or in Sivan. There are 7 weeks. And in June or in Sivan, there's the harvest of wheat. And wheat is considered to be human food because from wheat we make bread, and bread, lechem. Lechem is 78, 3 times the tetragrammaton, the relation to the Trinity. So please see the whole process. Again, barley is associated with the second day with the process, but there is no aim yet. This is why barley is always mentioned in the second place. The third one is geffen, or wine, vineyard. And vineyard, geffen, is written in 3 letters, Gimel, Pei, Nun Sofit. And we can create 2 more words, Gimel Panim. The grape wine, the vineyard, the vine has 3 faces. Why the vineyard has 3 faces? Because it is associated with the knowing. With the knowing, we have wisdom and understanding, and the combination between them is knowledge. Between wisdom and understanding, we have knowledge. The father and the mother, the wisdom and the understanding, they create knowledge. Da'at, knowing. So, Geffen is associated with the 3rd day. And in the 3rd day, God says twice that it was good. Because there is a recognition. The water are being removed or are coming into one space, and there is a land, dry land. And on dry land, a person can stand with both of his feet. And this is good. The 4th species is the fig, te'ena, and te'ena is associated fig with the 4th day of creation. The pomegranate, rimon, is associated with the 5th day of creation, and the olive oil is associated with the 6th day of creation, in which human was created. Human is associated with the olive oil. And honey, in other sources we find that the 7th species is date, tamar. But here we see the secret. Because people, when they read honey and they try to think logically, Or it says, okay, the fruit of the date is sweet. This is why the Bible here says honey. This is the speech of Moses, and he knows what he speaks about. Honey refers, not that he tries to be poetic about the date, and instead of saying date, he says honey. He means something else. The seventh day is the aim of creation, in which a person could rest and see where he comes from. And this is like the honey. This is the sweetest thing that can happen to us. To recognize where we come from and to speak about it. Like the bee, dvorah, ledaber, the speech, the bee that makes the honey, the sweetness which is stored in the structure of the 6 days, they are only the preparation for the 7th, for the honey, for the relation with the higher to come. So I hope this conversation was not too complex to follow through. And if you have more questions, please do ask, because this topic is very vast and very deep, and we have short time to speak about it. And I try to give the guidelines, and you can continue with your own thinking. Wishing you a beautiful day and wonderful week. Thank you for listening to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to hear more about a certain topic, just write us an email to hebrew@learnoutlive.com. We are always happy to hear from you. For more episodes, videos, and articles like this, please visit our website at hebrew.learnoutlive.com. We also would like to invite you to join our live classes. Just search for Online College of Biblical Hebrew on Facebook and start learning now with students from all over the world. Koltuv and Shalom.